The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And as we come into yet another week, it's another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
And we've got the S&P off about 6 points. The NASDAQ right at resistance all day long. This has been where the shorts have taken their big swing at the NASDAQ. It's at 7,000. 30, yeah, it's up 33 points as we speak. S&P, I said off 5. Dow off 78. Russell's off 5. We dipped down below what 25.90, 25.85 or something as low tick on the cash. We've never had what I would call extensive volume. We did about 10.8 billion shares on Thursday, did about 8.8 billion on Friday. It looks like this is going to be yet another 8.8 kind of day, maybe 8.5, not a lot of volume. I did see and commented to one of my subscribers today about seeing people dipping in fairly early this morning. And as soon as the stock price looked like it was going to go up, they backed away. As soon as it came back, they were right back there buying fairly strongly. That makes me think that there's some smart money down here at these levels. We've seen pops and drops over the last few days, but not a concerted effort to accumulate. And as soon as the price went up, go away. As soon as the price went up, people were chasing it, which tells me more of a retail buyer in there, or maybe even more of a hedge fund, or computers or bots or whatever you want to call them. Today did have a very smart characteristic. And we'll have to see how that goes. Anyway, we're off 3.5 points. So we'll see what happens. Oh, I wanted to get to volume here. Okay. So right now we're just turning 5.1 billion shares. So we've got, an hour and 52 minutes left in the trading day. I'm going to say, 8.5 billion maybe. So we're going to have kind of the same volume we had Friday, but certainly not the kind of volume that we saw on Thursday. And I think the last big major push down, the big volume, was about 12.8 billion shares. Again, a lot of that, we've seen a shift. I publish every day in the daily newsletter a breakdown of all the volume so you can see how much of it's ETF volume and how much of it is actually in the indexes. Of course, the Amex, when you look at the volume of that pretty much for most of the ETFs has the ETF volume in it. So you can make it kind of a view of the Amex as just being those ETFs. And we had, a big shift into volume in those ETFs and not so much in the actual stocks themselves. And that generally tells you that the tail is wagging the dog. You want to see if you really want to believe the end of the world scenarios, then you want to see big volume in the actual stocks themselves. Well, a lot of them not having any of that today. Anyway, a fairly decent turnaround. Anything for the NASDAQ above 7,000 for a close is pretty good. I continue to see especially a handful of stocks that I'm in up and relentless shorting, but not having a great deal of impact so far. We're at the point now where probably about half the stocks in the market are about ready to hit unchanged on the day. A lot of the bigger ones already have turned around. Apple was one of those. Apple was beaten down to 163.73 today. Now it's up 66 cents at 169.13. It got hit by some news, which I thought should have brought it down, but man, I think they didn't read the whole article. They lost a patent dispute to Qualcomm, but it's the older phones, not the newer phones, and it's in China only, which is maybe 2% of their business and maybe 1% of their profit. As much now, I could see that was an issue if you think that Apple is going to suddenly take over and be the big cell phone of China. I have two problems with that. One, I don't think people are going to spend that kind of money on a cell phone in China. Maybe a handful of people that are the richy rich. But the sell of the sizzle, not the steak, has always been that everybody in China is going to buy an iPhone. I've never believed that for a moment. The second part of that is I don't think that China government would ever let that happen. I would be surprised if Apple was ever allowed to have more than a 5% market share in China at all. And if they could actually get to that level, my guess is that there would be a lot of issues. Some other people have been talking about how Apple's problems come with the arrest of the Huawei CFO, who I think they probably have pretty much dead to rights on money laundering and violating a U.S. law. Now, it wouldn't be something if they just went out and bought something on the open market and sold it to Iran. They bought it from the United States. They signed off that they wouldn't ship it to Iran, and they did it directly. And they've been doing money laundering issues with Iran through this Huawei company. So they can get mad all they want. But first of all, I think they were just kind of stupid not to at least have a third-party cutout. And to do it so flagrantly, was something else. And I think that this is a shot across the bow. Other things going on in the market, we'll just keep an eye on all of this stuff. But again, as you go through this unchanged on the day level, we've got, what, an hour and a bit gone. You're going to see, I think, a lot of people shorting this market right at this 7,000 level on the NASDAQ. If they can hold it around this level till the end of the day, I think there are going to be a lot of shorts that blink right before the close. But they've been all over this and selling everything they can, including the kitchen sink at this NASDAQ 7,000 level. It's kind of weird why people focus on round numbers, but they do. Anyway, we'll be back in a minute. We'll be doing a little bit of history. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648.
The TAS Profile Scanner is the most revolutionary piece of trading software that you will ever try. Wouldn't you like to approach the markets with confidence? As you begin your trading day, it's likely that you'll be faced with lots of decisions. In order to make the best decision, the first thing you'll need is a strategy that will help you minimize your risks. Whether we're in a bull or bear market, a good strategy is to have the tools needed to help you scan and analyze the markets before you trade. The TAS Profile Scanner instantly scans and filters over 2,500 global financial markets, such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, president of TAS Market Profile, the TAS Profile Scanner understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications, automated trading algorithms, and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. Whether you're looking at the trade matrix, the ETF heat grid, the market breadth, the landscape charts, or the many other features of the TAS Profile Scanner, this is a piece of software that will revolutionize how you look at the markets and set up your trades. The team at TAS has even put together a 12-part video series to walk you through every aspect of the TAS Profile Scanner, which you can find directly on the TAS order page at TFNN.com. Sign up now for only $97 a month with a risk-free 30-day trial, so you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. See for yourself how you can harness the full power of the TAS Profile Scanner by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services section. Remember, with a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Don't let another day pass you by without trying out this amazing piece of software that will revolutionize how you look at the market and how you place trades. Sign up today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live, and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And we'll keep a close eye because this market is getting rather whippy. We're off 9 points on the S&P cash. And 69.88 on the NASDAQ. Russell's off 6. Crude oil's off 96. The strength in the dollar has been rather amazing today. Let me make sure that this thing's updated. It says it's updated, but I don't always believe it. 97.188 on the dollar, so no real pullback, and this is pretty much at the high of the day today. Of course, we've got Brexit stuff happening. We've got the president of France. Yeah, I think president of France. I don't think he's prime minister. I think it's president. Making a speech today, trying to come to Jesus on running everybody broke with a gas tax. And of course, if you live in the big cities, and you ride public transportation, doesn't really bother you. But if you live in the suburbs or anywhere else, the doubling of the gas tax has run you broke. And of course, everybody does the favorite thing, which is to go and riot. But this is kind of taken off. Even over the weekend, they finally made a list of demands, and one of those is to exit the EU. And I think that's probably brought a lot of people at least to wake up. But yeah, where are you going this weekend? I'm going to riot and protest in Paris. Okay, that sounds fine. But it continues to be one of those things where you go, okay. I don't know. You know, there's just a lot of upheaval. And I don't know if there's going to be any end to that. At some point, the markets will bottom out, and we'll have to get through this. But right now, we had a big dip lower. We've had repeated attempts at the 7,000 level in the NASDAQ. And again, we didn't have the kind of volume to blow out the lows. But I can't tell you that we've had that much volume in the upside either. But we shall see. Anyway, anywhere around these levels are probably positive on the NASDAQ whole, not the QQQs. probably means that we've seen at least a selling climax for a handful of days. Okay, what else do we have going on here? Well, it certainly is a little history.
Just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1894, in France, the Treaty of Paris is signed, formally ending the Spanish-American War and granting the United States its first overseas empire. We ended up with Cuba as a protectorate, Puerto Rico as, I guess, same thing, and the Philippines. In April, the U.S. Congress prepared for war, adopting a joint congressional resolution demanding the Spanish withdraw from Cuba and authorizing President William McKinley to use force. On April 23rd, President McKinley asked for 125,000 volunteers to fight against Spain. The next day, Spain issued a declaration of war. The United States declared war on April 25th. On April 1st, the U.S. squadron under Commodore George Dewey. We don't have enough Commodores anymore, do we? I don't know if there's actually a Commodore. Is there in the Navy? Don't know much about that. Destroyed the Spanish Pacific Fleet in Manila Bay in the first battle of the Spanish-American War. And, of course, we had to go fight in the Philippines. And I think it took 10 times as many people dying in the Philippines as it did in Cuba to finish this off. But made us the first international colonial locations around the world for the United States on this day. Okay, got a question in the den. Please comment on the large financial stocks decline and why that does not alter your view of a bottom forming. The reason why is that the money going and loans being lent hasn't changed. What has changed in a inverted yield curve is the amount of money that those banks can make, not whether they actually loan the money or not. So if there was a big change in the amount of money loaned around to the people that actually need it is one thing. If it just is the bottom line of those banks, I think that's a whole different thing. Yes, the Commodores, the musical group, but I don't think that they ran a invasion of Cuba. I could be wrong, though. But they didn't seem to sing a lot of songs about the invasion of Cuba. But I do digress. That's why. Yes, will it put issues? But again, we've got issues from other parts of the market, like the energy sector, with energy continuing to go and hang around these low $50 levels in crude for West Texas. And I don't know if anybody saw it. I should have probably clipped it for today's show, but they just went and finished a survey of the amount of oil recoverable now with new fracking techniques in Texas. And they've now doubled the amount of recoverable oil in Texas in a report. I think that was on Friday. So we continue. I keep on harping back to when the biggest lies are told in the market, like peak oil, everything else. And the more violently that they tell me something is true, generally I understand that there's probably a little bit more to the story that those folks are not telling. But we'll keep an eye on it. Anyway, we're bouncing around this $7,000 level, which I think is more important because the NASDAQ was always the stronger of the indexes here today. And that's probably going to continue to weigh on it. But yeah, if I start seeing a real change in the amount of cash being lent, that will change my view. That the banks themselves are not going to make wads of cash. Different story. Okay. Deutsche Bank. To me, the issue with Deutsche Bank is that they took some big hits early on in some ETFs and ETNs that they backed. That just continues to roll through this, down to 824 today. But again, they're just going to get recapitalized by the country that they're in, which in this case is Germany. But to me, I thought the question was more about the XLF, yeah, the financials in the United States, and that has a lot more to do with it. In Germany, we continue to see the same thing, which is just a failure to accept reality. Probably same thing in France. We'll be back in a minute.
The Path of Least Resistance, David White's daily market letter, gives you trade recommendations based on David's proprietary power law vector indicator that put the odds of success overwhelmingly in your favor. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price for each stock and option trade. David combines his years of trading experience along with his background in technology and computing to offer his subscribers his take on the markets on a daily basis. Every trading day by 9:30, David publishes his morning issue of The Path of Least Resistance, along with updates sent out throughout the week whenever there is new actionable trading information. All new subscribers receive a 30-day, no questions asked money-back guarantee. To sign up for David White's daily trading newsletter right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And I had some emails here. I kind of said it last week, so I don't want to spend too much time on repeating it myself. But again, I'm just thinking this is a fairly decent pullback in the market. I don't think it's the bear market that everybody has been talking up the last few days. Now, maybe I could be proved wrong on it. But for me, as long as Microsoft and some of these other big stocks don't really fail, I mean, this got down to 103.89 today. It's trading almost about 107. off of 113.42 high on December 3rd. Not the end of the world, and certainly a company that would probably have some big problems if we're talking about the end of the world scenarios that are being pushed on CNBC. Other stocks that make me want to scratch my head and say, okay, if the end of the world was coming, the biggest bear market ever, oh, that makes me remind me of what was that thing from Mel Brooks? The high anxiety, where he would run around and act, put in his teeth, try to scare people. I think that was Harvey. What's his name? From the Carol Burnett show. That was a great show. Anyway, if there was really that scary bear thing going on, that was the end of the world, I thought that we probably would see stocks like Tesla really get hit. And again, highly short things. We talked to that guy, the caller on, I think a Friday or Thursday, about being short this thing. And I guess he made a little money if he shorted that spike on Friday. But I still don't see any kind of break on these till the first of the year. Now, if you wanted to be bearish, I still think the thing to do would be to wait until the first of the year. Now, if you're trading daily, that's one thing. But with swings of 100 points in the S&P up and down, I don't know how you can do that with any kind of sense of risk reward unless you're trading on 5-minute bars. And I don't do that. So it's I leave that for the younger set, for the youngins. Other things going on there. Someone wanted me to look at Boeing. This thing had a fairly nice range today, but nothing that makes me think that this isn't coming back to this gap up on the 28th of November. That day you had about 6.1 million shares. Today we're down through that on 2.5 so far. So again, a lot of these things that look and act like they should be support, actually getting some of it. On the 6th of December, we had 9.3 million shares, and that spiked down. So we're just kind of getting back into that easy part of that gap in Boeing. Would I be a buyer of it? Probably not, but just because it's range bound, I need something that will probably break out of its range if there was a big short squeeze. But yeah, could this go back up to 350 for for expiration? I think you could probably see that kind of move out there. Maybe 345, 350. We continue to see let me get it out here. Yeah, let me go back. I think, is that Sunday? That's okay. I don't know which one of these I have to get right, so I'll do all of them. Had some people asking me about the options curve. Been talking about it in the den a little bit today. There hasn't been the last 3 days really much of a move from option market makers thinking that we're not going to probably expire on the 21st of December a whole lot higher. The option curve is actually fairly good with upwards of $1 billion on the wrong side of the market. That's a lot of cash. That makes me think that it's more than likely that we're going to head from to around 2750 on the S&P cash, about 2730. What is that? 273 on the SPYs, maybe 273 and a half, something like that. So I continue to think that we have maybe over 100 points higher from the S&P here, maybe even a little more coming back into it. Now, if they blink, I'll let you know. But to this point, it looks to me like they've got a lot of people on one side of the market. Maybe a few of these things work out. Maybe the end of the world cries start sounding a little bit more like the boy who cried wolf. A lot of times these cries come awful early in the cycle, and the people are forecasting these things are very soon. And when it doesn't happen right away, the market does tend to go the other way for a while. But I continue to think we're going to have a nice little squeeze into December 31st. And if we're going to have any kind of huge downside to the market, probably going to happen after the first of the year. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. Okay, we'll look at it here. I haven't looked at it in a while. We got a request to take a look at IBM. Got down to 112.52 on October 31st. And it's kind of bounced, but it's just kind of going sideways at $120. They bet their whole future on a new technology. That technology's a couple of years away. I don't see anything really changing in this anytime soon. NVIDIA looked like it had a fairly decent bounce off support today also. This is going into its gap up that had 20 million shares, just 12.5 million shares now, gapped up on the 26th of November with, let's call it 20.5 million shares. So again, we've gotten back into some of these gaps with lighter volume. Does that mean it's all over from NVIDIA? I don't know, but things are starting to look a little bit better in the sector. They're selling a few more cards. There's a whole lot less on eBay being sold, so the market seems to have soaked up the Bitcoin mining cards from AMD and NVIDIA. But I don't know, still a good business, not as good as it was, but certainly at off a $290 high. The question is it too low here and it was just way too high at 290, or was it just that people kept shorting it and it kept going higher as they continue to squeeze those shorts all the way to 290? Truth probably somewhere in between, but one of the premier companies, and I suspect as machine learning goes along, this company has a long future. They also have a great future in making video cards for games. Some of the highest stocks earlier in the day after I posted in the den the breakdown of like the top 10 stocks in both the S&P and the NASDAQ. And of course, game companies like Activision have been, about 3 or 4 days have been some of the highest performing stocks. I think it was the other one, Take-Two. We talked about that one. They've got a big taste of Red Dead Redemption 2. We'll be back in a minute.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today. No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Our next request is to take a quick look at OIH and see if there's anything out here. Again, the biggest problem that I've had for months out here was the supply. Every Friday I post the Baker Hughes numbers. We've gotten kind of the first little hints out here that some of that production is taken off. And, you know, the old saying is the best cure for a low price is the low price. Best cure for a high price is a high price. They will bring capacity on. The Texas numbers kind of thrown in last week on just how much crude there is in America and the fact that we're now a very net exporter of crude in the United States, at least self-sufficient. And I remember hearing that in 1978. We were going to be self-sufficient, but that was by putting on a sweater and freezing and chattering our teeth off, not by creating more energy. That's probably one of my biggest philosophical disagreements in politics, and that is, if someone tells me they got a glass that's half full or half empty, I ask them to go get me the other half. A lot of people just say you should suffer. I'm thinking that that's an opportunity, someone to come out and make a better product or better fuel-efficient cars, maybe some nuclear power based on fusion, not fission. Yeah, just me. But I'm not a big fan normally when people tell me I can't have it. I think that there's got to be a better way. A lot of people just like the, what was that? What do they call it? Oh, yeah. Everybody being unhappy. I don't think that helps anybody. What else do we have here? I'm rationally optimistic, as I've said before. I like that book, and it really tells me a great deal of what I look at. I thought that there were a lot of things happening, but there's always displacements, and eventually those things get taken care of, and we go to bigger and better. Okay, now I got something hung up here. Let me find it. Oh, there it is. Yeah, we've got, you know, right now somewhere around $2.2 billion that would be paid off on puts, and that would go down to a net $1 billion. So there's about $1.2 billion sitting out there, and generally option market makers are not that wrong. They're either going to sell a great deal more calls or, you know, try to get back the puts before those things have to pay off on December 31st. Okay, what else do we have out here? Okay. Someone wanted me to look at Amazon. And I mean, you're back to support, same thing. Almost all these stocks look like they're coming back to the 28th gap up. in the case of Amazon, you had 8.5 million shares. Today you got about 6.2. These bigger companies still rather weak. One of the things that kind of didn't pass the news much on Friday was that Google and some of these others are now going to be taxed in France for all the business that they do starting the first of the year. So that's not just something that everybody's hinted about, something that actually is going to happen. And the thought is that, you know, that's probably going to spread. They've gotten kind of a free ride on the tax man's dime. But again, you know, you gapped up on the 26th on this one with 1.5, 1.6 million shares. And if you want to look at it, you're still in the candle of the 28th. That 28th went up on 2.3 million shares, down today on just 1 million shares on Google. So we'll continue to keep an eye out. But again, I'm not real worried right now. Now, the worst thing, someone asked me for the bear scenario, that is that we go up on no volume and you hang out there, you go up to the very 29th of December and there's no volume and all the shorts are squeezed out and they blink. Then that's when you can have the giant gap downs. We've been selling off throughout the day, but we gapped down monstrously in the first part of the year. That would be the bear scenario that I would fear the worst. Right now, we continue to push down with a lighter volume. You bounce up with no volume, you get enough air, then you come back down. That's the one where you can get hammered fairly badly on. Although you can make the argument here that we are beating out a bottom going into the end of the year too. So there is enough. I understand the bear thesis. I just think that this has been a pullback so far, and until everybody throws all the stocks out, including the great ones like Microsoft and the horrible ones like Tesla, I'm still thinking this is more of a pullback than a incredible bear market that eats everything in its path. Again, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. I think we got some email here, if I can get to my email page. Okay. AMAT, A-M-A-T. This thing's been hammered. Probably the biggest thing is that most manufacturers haven't been taking a lot of effort to get into the 10 and lower nanometer technology used in Taiwan. It's certainly talked up by Taiwan Semiconductor and Global Foundries, the two biggest fabs in Taiwan. It's just that I don't see a lot out here now. On Friday, you came down in Applied Materials with 15.6 million shares. You tested that low today with 7 million shares. I think that means that you could probably get back into this huge down candle of 21 million shares that happened on the 4th, but maybe 36 bucks may be all you're going to wrangle out of AMAT before the end of the year. What you need is a lot of orders for that new 10 and 8 nanometer technology. The truth of the matter, though, is that most manufacturers have said, while we may need a couple of chips in that size, for the most part, we can live with the older, cheaper technology of 12 and 14 nanometers. And that's been the biggest problem with Applied Materials. But you know, if you can get a significant advantage for battery life and power, that makes a lot of sense. But to this point, everybody's kind of happy with the battery life, mostly on their iPhones and certainly in the Samsung product. They're long enough that you can get home and charge them overnight. They last more than a day. And I don't hear a lot of people screaming about that as a feature that they need. Other things going on. Anyway, you still have time to email me before the end of the day. We'll keep an eye on this market. Oh, where did it go? I moved stuff around. I missed it. There we go. NASDAQ, 7020s, back over at 7,000. on the
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today. Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And as we close the show, the S&P's up 3, Dow's up 8, NASDAQ's up 53, the Russell's down 2.5. Maybe you'll go flat by the end of the day or a little bit in the black. Let's take a look at to the volume. And it's 5.7 million shares. So again, we had what 8.8 million shares, or billion, excuse me, on Friday and 10.8 billion on Thursday. So this looks like well, we got about an hour to go. So you get 2 billion. You're gonna probably do 8 billion, but still probably even lighter than on Friday. Yeah, we'll see. I wonder whether or not the shorts, which have been relentless, will try to short the close tonight. I think that'll tell us a little bit. If they're scared and if they blinked, I think we're probably going to see at least a handful of them try to cover in the next hour. But probably the last 10 minutes is probably what's going to be fairly important. What else do we have out here that someone wanted me to look at? Any chance that Yelp has made a low? It may, but again, doesn't mean it's going to go higher. It's up 3.5% off the lows today. But to me, this thing is, we were at 29.33 on November 9th. It slowly moved back up into this huge gap down from earnings. To me, though, you probably want to be looking at this thing as a short at 39 if it doesn't get any more volume in it. And that's going to be tough, I think, also. But yeah, there's just, a lot of these things, you had a high volume low. It hadn't been retested in Yelp. And the question is, are things going to get any better for the internet stocks? And I just don't see it happening that quickly. I think we're still going to see see a lot of pain, slightly higher prices or slightly in the internet stocks. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.